In the meantime, the Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, Emmanuel Akabe, alongside Emirs of Lafi and Kefi, have paid a sympathy visit to the government and people of the state over the flood that rendered thousands homeless. The visit was at the instance of the Governor of Nasarawa State to reaffirm support from the government to the people of Borno State during this trying moment. The Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State handed over 6 truckloads of food items to Governor Babagana Zulum for onward distribution to victims of the flood.
My good friend Alaja was among the first visitors to Maiduguri to commiserate with us over the flood disaster that has disrupted the social economic activities in the state. We thought this was over. We in Nasarawa State feel the pain. Because what affects Borno affects Nasarawa. And what affects Nasarawa State affects Borno State. As a state, we have a lot in common between Nasarawa State and Borno State. And that's the main reason why His Excellency indicated that we must come as a team. Even though he has been here on a personal ground, the battle to him was not good enough. We have to come as a state to sympathize with you, to condone you, and to pray that such devastation never happens again.
And here in Lagos, the state government is calling on developers and builders to desist from encroachment of wetlands. This comes just as the Lagos Ministry of Environment sealed a private estate being developed on a wetland in Bagada. Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, said this after an inspection tour to some enforcement sites and some ongoing project sites. He hinted that several wetlands across the state, such as Iju, Ejigbo, Badagry, Korodu, and many more, are being encroached upon for estate development without due consideration for environmental guidelines, will be reclaimed by the government.
People will push back naturally. It's land. And like we always say, land determines development all over the world. But you can't encroach on a land that is designated as a wetland in a coastal city or state below sea level. It's a recipe for crisis and disaster. These are narratives, these are advocacies that we must keep pushing forward and telling our people that we have to do the right thing. And it starts from you and I.
To politics in Edo State, the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Monday Okpebholo, has promised to revive the Ojirami Dam in Akoko Edo State if elected. He gave this assurance during this word-to-word campaign of the area, where he addressed supporters and highlighted the lack of access to potable water. We have this. All right, we'll bring you that report in our subsequent bulletin. But we're staying in Edo State, where with about 5 days to the Edo governorship election, political parties have begun final preparations for the poll, which will take place on Saturday, the 21st of September. The electoral umpire, that's the Independent Electoral Commission, says, National Electoral Commission rather, says it is ready to conduct a free, fair and credible election in Edo State. Let's bring in our senior reporter, Theophilus Elama, who is live for us in Benin City. Theophilus, bring us update from Edo State. What's the political atmosphere like?
All right, Precious. Now, driving into Edo State, the crew came into Edo State yesterday, and you could see the atmosphere is quite heavy and rife. Everybody's preparing for the elections, and you can see posters and campaigns going on everywhere in different localities. The different political parties moving around, convincing the residents of Edo State to vote them into power. We're currently at Ring Road, where you can see a lot of posters here. Everybody's going about their normal businesses, but what's uppermost on their mind is the fact that they want a safe and secure Edo State. They want a prosperous Edo State, and so come September 21st, they will go to the poll and choose the leader of their choice, one that they believe will push Edo to a place of prosperity, as many also believe that they don't want violence in any form during the elections. And you can see people going about their business. Edo people are peace-loving people. And of course, as regards INEC registration, from INEC's portal itself, from the Commission's published statistics of registered voters, Edo State has over 2 million permanent voters. Of course, that's about 2.5 and some fraction permanent voter cards. Out of that, 2.1 and some fraction are from registered voters, and they have been collected already. And others that are registered and uncollected, about 373,000 and some fraction. And so the Commission has also gone away from the norm to get Edolites to collect their PVCs so they can vote. From what we have seen all around, moving around Edo State since yesterday into today, we have seen that despite the fact that Edo, politically, they're actually strong, we see people wanting to own in actually the process, wanting their leaders of their choice to be voted in. And many I've spoken to personally have said they don't want violence. They just want a free and fair process to go on. And so we know that that's what is going to happen come September 21st.
Thank you so much, Theophilus, for that update. I've seen a reporter live for us in Benin City. All right, Theophilus, I understand that I can get in one more question just before we let you go. In terms of the peace pact that was signed, we understand that the PDP did not sign. So what are you hearing from Edo people as to how the optimism around security, how optimistic are they that security is guaranteed during this election?
Well, one thing I can tell you about Edo residents is that, like I said earlier, they are owning the process, and part of them owning the process is to ensure that not just their vote counting, but that there's no trouble. And so the message has gone round. Before we came on live, there were town criers around. There were people go with speakers in vehicles, telling people to vote for this candidate or this candidate, and also admonishing that the election is not a do or die affair, so do not fight, do not cause mayhem, do not cause violence. And so a lot of people are optimistic that the process will be so seamless. Like I said earlier, it's rife in the air. Everybody is ready for this election in Edo State. The people are owning the process to ensure that they vote in the candidates of their choice, and of course, the candidate that will be the people's choice.
Thank you, Theophilus, for the update. I'm sure we'll be speaking with you in the coming days on this election. Senior reporter live for us in Benin City, Theophilus Elama.